from WBBZ-TV Sports. It's time to beat the champ. Now, here are your hosts, Paul Peck and Sue Novoitsky.
Well, hi, everybody. With Hall of Fame bowlers Sue Novoitsky and Janelle Sabin, my name is Paul Peck, and welcome to what promises to be a pretty exciting and special edition of Beat the Champ as we continue here at Classic Lanes in Kenmore. We have a chance to watch Jeremy Zimmerman, our red-hot bowler, tie and maybe break the all-time Beat the Champ record, at least on this incarnation of the show, the all-time record for consecutive wins.
Right, and it took almost 19 months to get that record in the first place, and now all of a sudden it looks breakable. But Jeremy's just on a roll, and we've watched him go through the highs and the lows, and he's still come out on top.
9 in a row for Jeremy Zimmerman. The 3 challengers today include Josh Vogt, Jeff Dio, and Dave Maciejewski. Some new guys, a couple of guys making their debut, so it'll be an interesting dynamic on this show.
Always is. You know, you never know how they're going to react when the lights are on, and it's a totally different atmosphere for them. First-timers are always interesting.
Yes, well, we know you are always ready when the lights are on. You're going to dish out some prizes here today, too, aren't
definitely.
you, Janelle?
Our wonderful sponsor, Dirt Cheap TV, gives away a TV to our top qualifier every month, and we'll see who the winner is today. So that's even more reason to come out and, you know, try out for the show.
Yeah, and even more of a reason to stick around for what should be a great edition of Beat the Champ, so let's get rolling.
Right, I'm here with Jeremy Zimmerman, who's been in our living rooms now for the last 3 weeks in a row. And we noticed from seeing so much of you that you have a bit of a routine when you bowl. Tell us about that.
Well, during practice, I watch my opponent, and whichever lane they seem to be struggling on, I instantly tell them they're starting on that lane. If advantage should go to me if they're not lined up on it, that's possibly an automatic open. And if I'm on a good lane, which I've been on a roll, then I get out to the head start. And it's from there, it's just a mental game. Just make good shots and try and make all my spares.
Did you expect to be here still this week?
No, I thought I lost 2 matches so far. I thought I was done, and I caught a break, and all I can say is somebody's looking out for me.
Yep, well, take advantage of this good fortune and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
I'm here on Beat the Champ with Joshua Vogt, a newcomer to Beat the Champ, and what a successful run you had. Won the Smart TV. Tell us how you did that.
Just walked out, kept myself composed, and did what I had to do to make shots and make all my spares.
All right, so you're from East Aurora?
Yep.
And was this your first time bowling in Classic Lanes?
Yes, it was.
And was it do you normally bowl in East Aurora?
Yep, that's where I bowl every Tuesday, and it's almost the same condition. It's wood, and it kind of played like a house shot, like bowling at 11 frame, so it was pretty similar.
Have you ever been on TV before?
No, ma'am.
All right, are you nervous?
A little bit, but not real bad.
All right, well, you're already ahead of the game. You've got a TV to start off with, so good luck.
Thank you.
All right.
Our returning champion, Jeremy Zimmerman, sporting the subtle new green shirt for this series of matches. We'll start things off against the opponent, a newcomer to Beat the Champ. His name is Josh Vogt, so we'll get a chance to see whether he can be the one to knock off Jeremy Zimmerman and end his 9-match winning streak. So Josh Vogt will start things off here. 31 years old from East Aurora, works for the Starlight Manufacturing Company. And he starts off by leaving a picket fence of pins on the right-hand side.
This is always an interesting time in the day because we're on our third show of the day, and the lanes have really broken down, and they're very different from the practice pair. So when the bowlers come on here, there's always a little bit of a learning curve.
Interesting story for Josh. He had never even tried to qualify for the show until this month here at Classic Lanes, and not only did he qualify, but he was the top qualifier in our round of 24, and then winds up making the show as the 7th best qualifier coming into this week. So he starts with an open, not what you want to get things started with, but not all that unusual for the newcomers.
Yeah.
And here's Jeremy. As I said, a little fashion change there for Jeremy, and let's see if that has zero effect on his bowling, and so far so good.
But he's still using that same bowling ball that he deviated from for a frame or two, and that was that.
And right, if you were with us in our last week's show in the 3rd match of the day, a really good match against Mike Kemp, Jeremy had changed balls for, what, maybe 3-4 frames?
Not even.
Yeah, it went right back to the original one he's using now, the blue and the orange one, and that winds up being what leads him to victory, even though it came when Mike Kemp missed a single pin spare in the 10th frame.
Well, no one's to say that luck doesn't have a little bit to do with it. And,
has a lot to do with
we
it.
talk about what a mental game this is, and that was a big shot for Mike, and he knew he needed that to defeat someone that's won 8 in a row. I mean, there's a lot going on.
So it's 9 in a row for Jeremy Zimmerman right now. That is one shy of the Beat the Champ record held by Kevin Bianco. Coincidentally enough, Kevin Bianco's streak of 10 in a row was ended by none other than Jeremy Zimmerman last month at Rapids.
He said, I'll see your 10,
I mean,
and
just think about
I'll
that.
go 11.
Think about it. Kevin Bianco runs off 10 in a row. Jeremy beats him, ends the winning streak, and that's win number 1 in what has been 9 in a row and could very well be 10 or more. We just don't see this on this show, and we've got so many good bowlers to think that 2 guys have already rattled off 19 consecutive victories is amazing. That's, that's 2 guys in Angelo territory, right?
Absolutely, and I just watched Josh leave a pocket 7-10 over there, and I'm wondering what Jeremy has in his pocket, because it seems like he's got a horseshoe or some kind of lucky charm that he's got
what's called intimidation on his side, right? You know it, you've seen it, you've bowled against great bowlers before where you even start the match worried about it. Big hard thrower is Josh, and he thought he could get some pin action. He does not, so it winds up being opens in the first 2 for Josh Vogt. 31 years old from East Aurora, 215 average. Bowls regularly a couple of nights a week, and he's got a good cheering section on hand here at Classic Lanes. His wife Sarah and his daughters Amelia and Bridget. And there's a big powerful strike.
This feels like a good time to take a short break. We'll be right back with more action on Beat the Champ. Welcome back to Beat the Champ. Let's get back to the action here on WBBZ-TV.
I'm Janelle Sabin here at Classic Lanes with Josh Vogt. He's our top qualifier this month, so he won the HD TV from Dirt Cheap TV. Josh, how excited are you?
This thing's awesome.
Yeah.
Can't wait to watch Beat the Champ on it.
Of course, Beat the Champ all day, every day, right?
All day, every day.
Awesome. Well, we're excited for you to have this. Take this home, stick it up somewhere nice, huh?
Thank you.
All right.
8th frame now for Jeremy Zimmerman.
What a great shot. Again, this guy won't go away. And we're talking a little bit about, changing the shirt and, how he's picking, whether he goes first or whether he finishes the match. And bowlers tend to be a bit superstitious. Why I'm kind of surprised you changed the shirt, actually.
I am too. And the run continues for Josh Vogt, 6 in a row.
And that's going to be a 20-pin lead now for Josh with only 2 frames to go. So
Jeremy Zimmerman has been pushed a couple of times during this 9-match winning streak, but this one may be shaping up as being pushed harder than he's ever been pushed. And the strikes run comes to an end here in the 9th frame.
that shot was definitely about 4 boards right of his target. And you just can't get away with that on this mod. That's where the modified support shot is going to show the chinks in the armor. It's not unplayable, but you can't miss your target by 4 or 5 boards, which he did. He missed to the right, and thus coming light and leaving this.
So Josh
Tough
needs,
spare.
Yep, tough spare for Josh, and he misses it. So it's a 3rd open frame in the match and a crucial one in the 9th frame, and just like that, pretty sizable lead. Now it's kind of disappeared.
Yep, it's still up to Jeremy to strike here. He still needs this to go ahead, but it's definitely closed this gap quite a bit.
And once again, while sitting and watching, the match comes right back into the hands of Jeremy Zimmerman.
I'm beginning to think I don't want Jeremy to have anything up against me. He's got some kind of magic going on.
Hey, God love him. It is working for him right now as he's trying to tie the all-time record not the all-time record. We certainly know Ninangelo owns that one, but the record of this edition of Beat the Champ with 10 consecutive wins. Big one here, 9th frame. Just couldn't get the ring 10 again.
Yeah, that ball hit the same way as the last one did on lane 32. It's just a little bit flat, causing the flat 10. But
now, because we've seen that happen so many times to Jeremy, is there an adjustment to make in order to fix that, or is that you're asking too much there?
No, well, part of it is just the way he throws it, and the way he throws it has been an advantage. How can we say it hasn't been? He's been on he's made 10, consecutive shows, but his ball isn't driving at that point, so he has to be a little bit softer, or he needs to be a little bit more direct into the pocket. So really it's actually because of the way he throws it, and you really can't help that.
All right, so here we go, 10th frame. What does Jeremy need to keep the streak alive?
Okay, so right now, if he strikes, he needs to strike out. There's just, whatever he does, he's behind by 5 pins. So he's gonna have to do 6 pins better than his opponent. But as posting his score, he's gonna want a double here. Great shot.
Big strike, just when he needed it for Jeremy
And that's
Zimmerman.
what he needs to do. He needs that ball to set up very high flush in the pocket so that he gets the carry that he needs.
So he's off to the start he needs in the 10th frame to keep the 9-match winning streak alive and tie Kevin Bianco for our record of 10 in a row. But he's not done yet. 2 more here in the 10th frame.
Good shot.
And a late fall on the 10-pin. And an arm raised in the air for Jeremy.
What can we say?
You can't say anything else.
This is bigger than the both of us.
You can't say anything else. Amazing what Jeremy Zimmerman continues to do. All the lucky breaks, all the advantages that he needs, but again, not done yet. Nothing to laugh at all here about what's going on.
That shot could have easily been an 8-10. I mean, he really just fired it at the pocket and managed to get a love tap to knock down that 10-pin. He's just got it going on. That was a good shot.
And that time he didn't get it. So let's see if that 110 pin is the difference in this match.
Well, it's at this point, Joshua he needs a double. So it's going to be a double and 5. And, starts here with this first one, but he needs 2 in a row.
218 is the score on the board for Jeremy Zimmerman. First throw, 10th frame, Vogt gets the first strike. There's the Vogt family looking on. Sarah, Amelia, Bridget, Grandma and Grandpa. The in-laws looking on as well, too. The whole family cheering on Josh Vogt. He needs a strike right here to win and end Zimmerman's streak. And he doesn't get it.
Oh,
Unbelievable. Jeremy Zimmerman has done it again. For the second consecutive match, his opponent could win, and it's a 1-pin difference. This is amazing. 218 to 214, and a record-tying win for Jeremy Zimmerman. I'm at a loss for words, Sue.
I don't know what to say, but whatever he's got going, he needs whatever he had for breakfast, he needs to have for breakfast every day.
It's just amazing. There you see the score. We'll come back. We'll talk to Josh, and we'll get you ready for a record-breaking attempt by Jeremy Zimmerman when Beat the Champ continues right after this. Final score 218 to 214 as Jeremy Zimmerman wins his 10th consecutive match. Josh, you are the victim of it. Despite 3 opens, you're right there in the last 10th frame with a chance to pull off the win. What happened?
Throw a good shot and you leave a 10 pin. There's nothing you can do about it except for, walk away, come back the next time and see what happens.
You put a lot of pressure on the guy who's bowling better than anybody is on this show lately.
He's finding a way to win it, and I'm glad to see somebody bowl as well as he is.
All right, well, congratulations for one heck of a debut on this show, Brian.
All right, Josh, great bowling, and hope to see you more Beat the Champ since this was your first one, and more to it. All right, thank you.
Great performance by Josh Vogt, but what more can you say about Jeremy Zimmerman other than he's got a chance to break the record? That's our next match coming up on Beat the Champ.
I'm here on Beat the Champ with Jeff Dio. Jeff, not your first Beat the Champ experience. Tell us a little bit about your last Beat the Champ experience.
My last experience didn't go too good. It was down in Jamestown last year and threw a bad fill ball to lose by a pin.
I know we talk about the hush going around the crowd, and that was a hush going across the crowd that day. But it's a new day, and how did qualifying go here at Classic?
Qualifying went good, and I had a good line, some good carry, and I just matched up pretty good.
All right, well, good luck today, and we won't have any repeat performances, right?
That's right.
All right, good luck.
The man who stands in the way of a Jeremy Zimmerman record is Jeff Dio. He is the next bowler up to challenge Jeremy Zimmerman, who has won 10 consecutive matches. He ties Kevin Bianco for the longest winning streak here on Beat the Champ. So a win in this match will give Jeremy the record. Maybe one of the more unlikely things that we have seen. Not that we don't believe in Jeremy and not that he's not a good bowler, but to think that when Jeremy broke that 10-match winning streak by Kevin Bianco well over a month ago, that he would be in a position to rattle off 11 of his own in a row.
All the things that had to go a certain way over the course of all of these weeks and all of these matches and all of these frames all went his way.
Everything.
Everything has gone his way.
Every lucky break, every pin that wobbled, every pin that didn't wobble.
Every striking that needed to carry, every single one has gone his way. Mathematically almost impossible to see this many things line up the right way for this amount of time.
And you and I have been around high-level athletes, and I include you in that category as well, too, to know that when things start to go well, it continues to fuel you as already a high-level athlete, that your confidence grows as things continue to happen. I know you've seen that in your career, and I think that's what Jeremy is saying, that he believes that everything he does is going to be right. And guess what? The people that are going against him are starting to believe that everything that they do isn't going to work.
And I think that's a big factor too. I mean, Jeremy's a pretty self-deprecating young man. He's just he looks as surprised as anybody else when all these things happen the way they happen.
Jeff Dio is from Niagara Falls. He is 32 years old. He is a print assistant at Flex Transparent. This is his 3rd appearance on Beat the Champ. 3 wins and 2 losses in his previous appearances on the show, but we have not seen Jeff Dio since he bowled at the Jamestown Bowling Company back in the late 2016.
Yeah, and he had a very unfortunate ending to that particular experience when he needed, I believe he needed a 7 count and got 6.
Yeah, it was one of our more memorable moments on the show.
Another one of those hush goes on the crowd.
So we know Jeff's a good bowler. We know he is a highly talented guy. But again, at this point, you're just starting to wonder what's going to happen to him. What's the curse of Jeremy Zimmerman going to do to Jeff Dio in this match? And and we'll see. Jeremy with a strike in the first frame. Frame number 2. Another strike.
Well, one strategy that Jeremy shared with us is that what the method to his madness was of changing where he starts and where he finishes. I mean, we'll sometimes see him be the leadoff bowler, and there's times that he is the finisher, and you wonder. My logical thought was he preferred one lane over the other, but it's not. What he's doing is he's watching his opponent in practice, and he's watching where that opponent, where they struggle, and then force them to finish on that lane.
That's outstanding. That's good scouting. You know, that's
Yeah.
that's great.
And they say there's no
Jeremy's part.
defense in bowling.
There you go. That's it. That's defense in bowling. Perfect 3 for 3 for Jeremy Zimmerman. But what else would you expect? Maybe I think he knows he's got a chance for a little bit of immortality here, right? I mean, so to speak, on this show.
And these two are playing the lanes almost identical. I mean, they're lined up the same. They're going to see the same, nuances on the lane because they're playing the same spot.
Good crowd of people cheering on Jeff Dio here. His parents, his grandparents, got friends here as well too. Oh, they're not going to like that. That's the dreaded 4-7-6-10 split. Is dreaded the right word?
Apparently, Jeremy decided to pull his magic out early in this game and get him in the third frame.
What do you do here, Sue?
Just go for 2.
Okay. Well, and that's what Jeff does. He'll get 2. So it'll be an open in the third frame with 8 pins for Jeff Dio. Meanwhile, he'll slide over for frame 4 on lane 31, have to shake that one off. Meanwhile, Jeremy Zimmerman working perfect through 3. Jeff Dio is a regular at a couple of our regular spots here on the Beat the Champ circuit. Island Lanes on Mondays, Manor 2 on Wednesdays. And I know he bowls a little bit up in the Falls as well also. 2007 Lockport City Doubles Champion, 2008 Lockport City Team Champion. And a good bounce back, even though he did leave the 4-pin. Spare opportunity for Jeff.
Yeah, another good shot there. But his ball reaction is a little bit different, even though they're playing the same part of the lane. Jeremy's ball just perfectly lays off. We like to call it lays off. It just doesn't keep driving to the pocket. It lays off and just sets up in the pocket, which has really been one of the secrets to his success for sure.
Spare for Jeff Dio in the 4th frame.
We're going to be back with more Beat the Champ bowling action in just a minute. Welcome back to Beat the Champ. Let's get back to the action here on WBBZ-TV.
After we're done with another week here at Classic, we move on to the Rapids Bowling Center in Niagara Falls. Back to striking for Jeremy Zimmerman.
And taping for that is going to be October 4th, if it's going to be a Wednesday. And we're going to tape from about 10 to 5, so they've been starting to give out some swag. So if someone wants to come up and watch.
Oh yeah, our friends
gifts.
at Genesee Beer, one of our new sponsors here on Beat the Champ, will have some prize giveaways when we're up at Rapids Bowling Center next month, so make sure you come out on October 4th for our next taping.
And that's literally going to be this week, because this is
Coming up
airing
this
on
Wednesday.
the 30th.
Yep, coming up this Wednesday. Looking for the spare and getting it in the 7th frame for Jeff Dio. So this incredible run of success for Jeremy Zimmerman, we've been talking all about the consecutive wins, but right now, if Jeremy wins this match, not only does he set the record for consecutive wins, but he will tie Mike Zarcone, Tyler Molina, and Matt Sazowski for the most wins here on Beat the Champ in the nearly 2 years that we have been doing the show. Those 3 guys have won 12 individual matches. Jeremy is at 11 right now.
Well, and with that comes, you're going to be the leading money winner, because you know, at $100 per win, if he's won just as much as the other, he gets $100 per win, he's going to be heading for the biggest money winner as well.
And Jeremy has done it in fewer shows than some of those other guys have as well too. This is heading into right now Jeremy's 8th show. You know, for instance, Mike Zarcone has been on 16 shows with 12 wins. Well, a couple of more strike, another one 8th frame strike for Jeremy. Looking like he is well on his way to setting the record.
Yep, the match was actually decided on that strike right there, because the best that Jeff can do at this point is a 201, and this gives Jeremy, well, 199 in the 8th, so he needs 2 pins over the next 2 frames.
So we're going to watch Jeremy finish this one out here, because we've got a little history in the making. Another strike for Jeremy in the 9th frame, as he is on his way to setting a Beat the Champ record for consecutive victories, as he's on his way to 11 in a row. So Jeff Dio up for the 8th frame here. And a nice strike from Jeff Dio in the 8th frame. And a nice battle here for Jeff. You know, again, you are fighting forces larger than anyone can understand right now.
Isn't that the truth?
You know, and not only is Jeff bowling against Jeremy, he's bowling against a higher power that is looking down on Jeremy Zimmerman and making sure everything works well for him. So,
I mean, Jeremy's going to post as much as 279 on this 1 frame to go, so that's also quite a large number.
You know, and his scoring has been pretty solid and pretty consistent during this streak for Jeremy. You know, 207, 244, 215, 233. He got by with a 198, one with a 237. So his average has been pretty solid here on you know, on this run. He has not snuck by very rarely. He snuck by in some of the matches, but that's only because he's put a lot of pressure on his opponents. So here's Jeremy Zimmerman. It's the 10th frame to post up a final score on what will be a record-breaking 11th consecutive victory. And let's just watch Jeremy do it in style. And Jeff Dio's going to finish things out here as well, too. Second ball here, the 10th frame for Jeremy Zimmerman. What a great story. We've gotten to know him. He's a great guy, and he's a guy that you want to root for and that you want to see do well. And right now, he's making that all happen, and you feel happy for him because, as we've said, that he got that confidence boost by beating Kevin Bianco. Maybe he didn't think he could do it. Maybe that's all he needed to take his game to this next level. And there's the spare that finishes it out for Jeremy Zimmerman as a 268 score goes on the board. It's a record-setting 11th consecutive victory for Jeremy Zimmerman. We will come back and give you a little more perspective on the achievement and get you ready for another match, because now Jeremy's got a chance to be the first guy to ever sweep a month. We'll do that when Sue and I return to Classic Lanes in Kenmore. You are watching a memorable edition of Beat the Champ. 268 to 190 is the final score as Jeremy Zimmerman gets the win over Jeff Dio. You knew you were battling a guy who's super red hot. How can you let that sort of get into your mind when you start a match?
I tried not to at the beginning, and then I left those couple splits, and then it was in my head after that. So it's hard to come back from.
Yeah, I mean, you had the best view of anybody to see just the way Jeremy is bowling. Give us your take on what you're seeing from this guy right now.
Threw the ball great, got a couple breaks, and made it tough.
All right, well, good battling in there, and you get a little piece of going down in history, not the kind that you want, but Brian's at least got something for you here.
All right, great. Thanks for bowling, and hope to see you next time.
Yeah, well, we're back in Niagara Falls, where Jeff is from, at Rapids next, so maybe we'll see Jeff again. When Sue and I come back, we got our final match of the day. It's Beat the Champ at Classic Lanes in Kenmore. We return right after this.
I'm here on Beat the Champ with David Maciejewski, which I can say because, of course, we have the same heritage, so your name isn't that difficult to me. You're familiar with Classic Lane's little home court advantage?
Yeah, I bowl here on Mondays and Fridays.
Did you find the shot when you qualified to be similar?
Oh no, a little bit different. It was longer and stuff.
But you didn't seem to have any problem. You made it anyways, right?
Yes, it was. After you figure it out, it was pretty off from there.
Any nerves?
A little bit.
All right, well, once that first shot's off your hand, you'll forget all about it. So good luck today.
Thank you.
Final match of the day and the final challenger here at Classic Lanes for Jeremy Zimmerman is Dave Maciejewski, making his Beat the Champ debut, and the man standing between Jeremy Zimmerman and a little more Beat the Champ history. I don't know that anybody would want to be bowling against Jeremy right now.
I know. This shirt stands to be luckier than the last shirt he was wearing.
You're right.
I said bowlers are superstitious.
So Jeremy will start things off as he looks for 12 wins in a row. And once again, we're joined here at the table by the proprietor here at Classic Lanes, Brian Borowski. And Brian, we've seen some pretty amazing bowling and some amazing streaks at the two places that you're a part of, at Ali Brandt a couple of months ago with Bianco, and here at Classic with Jeremy Zimmerman.
Well, and then even back further, Matt White. Originally,
the first guy to have a streak.
One of the first guys that had longest streak. I don't know what it is. But I need to find out what that water cooler is.
Yeah, well, you know, we were kind of joking, like, what is it about guys from Lockport here? If you're born in Lockport, you're predetermined to have a good chance at running a nice streak on Beat the Champ.
It almost sounds that way.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah. I mean, give us a little bit of perspective. I mean, I think we're flat out of positive things to say about what Jeremy Zimmerman has done, but give us a little idea and a little perspective of what it has taken for him to run 11 in a row and have a chance to literally sweep an entire month of shows.
Well, a few different things. Number one, he's in a groove. I mean, he basically set the lanes up for himself from the very first match. He's able to make a big groove towards the pocket. And the second thing is luck. I mean, you had a couple opponents that had opportunities to win the match. One, unfortunately, missed a spare, and the other one left a ringing 10. You know, luck does play into it.
And there you're getting a look at the first frame from our challenger, Dave Maciejewski, making his Beat the Champ debut, 28 years old, from Williamsville. Occupation as a rehab transporter aide. He has been bowling since he was a young kid, about 4 years old, 218 average for Dave. Got a nice cheering section on hand here as well, too.
And Dave's very familiar with this bowling center. He bowls league here a couple nights a week, he said?
Yes, he does. He bowls a couple nights here, and he's really improved his game over the last few years. He used to throw a ball harder than me, which is kind of difficult to do, but he's actually slowed it down a little bit more, letting the ball react to the lane instead of forcing it down. So he's really improved his game the last few years.
Another big, tall, powerful bowler here. We've seen a couple of them already in this show. So it's back-to-back spares in the first two frames for Dave Maciejewski, and now Jeremy Zimmerman. Overall record now up to 12 wins and 3 losses. We mentioned that's now tied with Mike Zarcone, Tyler Molina, and Matt Zazowski for the most wins here on Beat the Champ. And there's a nice strike. I'm telling you what, from the very first match 2 weeks ago to the last match of this show, he has been in the same place with the same motion and the same consistency.
So he really has not missed his target by much. I mean, I think early, the first game he missed his target maybe once. Other than that, he's been pretty bang on.
Yeah, he's been right there, and the 10 pins they've left, the ball just wasn't finishing at the end. It was kind of like dying out, and especially if he gets it out a little bit, just doesn't finish hard.
Yeah, just a little flat.
Exactly.
I'd like both of you guys to sort of comment a little bit and tell us how hard it is to stay that consistent for this long a time. I think that's the one thing that we've seen through this show is guys get hot and then they sort of lose it a little bit, or something happens and they don't make the right adjustments. But to be this consistent for so long, how difficult is that?
Well, especially bowling 9 games. I mean, this is his 9th game, and he's been very accurate.
But he hasn't had to move much. His adjustments have been small.
Correct.
The ones he's had to make, and that was a testimony to really what Brian said earlier about him building up that groove. He's got himself a nice little puddle of oil to his left, which the other bowlers don't have if they're outside of that track. And he's got a ball that rolls up in it perfectly. So he's managed to stay in the same place all day and not have to move too much.
Nice strike, first of the match for Dave Maciejewski. Well, how much of that, again, is a little bit of the luck of the draw that the bowlers he's gone against haven't necessarily wanted to work the same part of the lanes as he did, or has he just been able to overcome even if they want to be in the same place as him?
Well, because of him seeing those lane conditions, for 9 games, he knows where to roll the ball. He knows what the ball's going to do, and he's able to see the adjustments and everything right up front.
Another nice strike for Dave Maciejewski.
The action will continue on Beat the Champ in just a minute. Welcome back to Beat the Champ.
So tell us a little bit about the fourth show, the next week's feature show from Classic Lanes.
All right, next week's 4th show is going to be a tournament that we had back in May, a League Bowlers tournament, where they're able to come out over a couple-week period to participate, and we cut down to the top 4, and the top 4 are going to be bowling next week.
So those are guys that are regulars for you here in your leagues at Classic Lanes.
That is correct, and it's going to be a handicap event, and we guaranteed 1 female. So actually, Dave's fiance is going to be bowling the next week's show.
Oh.
Great. 8th frame now for Jeremy. Didn't get that ring 10 to go down, so the 10 will stand and he'll have another 1 pin spare staring him down.
Did we have any women in the qualifiers here at Classic?
Yes, we did. We actually had 3 women. And of course, with Beat the Champ now, we do guarantee 1 female to make the top 24. If they don't make it in the top 24, they are the 25th bowler. So we're really encouraging more women participation in this. We're trying to give them some opportunities and whatever we can do, because we really would love to see a female here Beat the Champ.
And we know we have the talent in this area, so we just got to give them to commit to the show.
One of these days, we're gonna free you from your broadcast duties and let you get out there. And you gotta earn your way in. You gotta qualify your way in.
So.
Well, that's right. You gotta qualify your way in, but we're gonna let you do that. Brian and I'll handle the broadcasting if you can get out there and do a little bowling.
Yeah, I could make myself available for one day.
All right. The problem is I have a lot of inside knowledge now, so I got a lot more to talk about. I don't need one of these bio sheets right now. And a late fall on the 7 pin gets Jeremy a strike.
Yeah, plus I can bring up stories from the college days too.
Oh, there you go. Wow. Can't wait for that to happen now.
See, there might have been a period of time in my life where I said, oh no, don't, but now I'm at a period where I'm like, yeah, bring it back. Remind me of how fun it was.
Majeski in the 9th frame. And that one sort of ran out of steam as it made its way down the lane. Still a tight match here.
Yeah, this is a convertible spare, and an important spare.
Let's see what Dave does with it. And he'll get 2, and it'll be another open for Dave Maciejewski.
So you know what this means? This means that Jeremy's fate is in his hands. He can no longer be shut out. So he's going to get up to bowl, and he will have the ability to win the match no matter what.
So that will happen as soon as Dave is done here. 10th frame with a chance for Jeremy to win. He'll have a chance to become the first bowler on this show in the nearly 2 years that we have been on the air to completely sweep a month by winning 9 matches. Never happened before. We already have clearly told you that Jeremy now holds the record of 11 consecutive matches and now tied for the record of 12 individual matches with a host of other bowlers, but it's never happened before where we've had one guy go all the way through 3 weeks worth of bowling, and that will be determined by Jeremy when he comes up here in the 10th frame.
So count is very important here. If he gets anything less than 8, Jeremy just needs a spare and strike to win. If he gets 8 or better, Jeremy is going to need the first strike. Not where he wanted to change balls.
No, definitely not.
That is not.
So Dave has made it a little easier on Jeremy to grab another victory.
Now Jeremy needs a strike or a spare and 9.
Spare and good count. Spare 9, yes.
So it's a 188 on the board for Dave Maciejewski, and Jeremy Zimmerman stands between here and a little more beat the champ history with a spare and count in the 10th frame. And at this point, I think we're all rooting for him to do it because that would make for an amazing story and an amazing month of achievements here for Jeremy Zimmerman. He gets the strike instead of the spare that he needed.
You just cannot shut this guy out.
Unbelievable. So Jeremy Zimmerman clinches yet another victory, a 12th in a row, and a complete monthly sweep of the Beat the Champ competition here at Classic Lanes in Kenmore. What an amazing achievement, and can't wait to let you get to talk to him a little bit. Maybe he'll finally let loose a little bit and be the Jeremy that we've seen before, because he's been pretty stoic through all of this. And another strike and a clench of the pump of the fist for Jeremy Zimmerman as he continues to go out in style. One more here to cap off one of the most amazing series of achievements that we have seen on this show and that probably people in Western New York have seen anywhere on a bowling alley. And yet another strike. What a way for Jeremy Zimmerman to win 210 to 188. A shake of the hand with his opponent. When we come back, we'll talk to Jeremy about this amazing month-long run of 12 consecutive victories. Beat the Champ returns right after this. 210 to 188, our final score as Jeremy Zimmerman continues the sweep of Classic Lanes with a win over Dave Maciejewski. You knew going into this one you were going to have to bowl lights out in order to beat the hottest guy. How much pressure did that add to it?
A little bit more pressure, but just didn't make the shots that I needed to.
Overall, in your debut on the show, even though it comes at the hand of the hottest guy ever, how do you feel like you did?
I feel I did pretty good.
Well, I know we're going to see a lot more of you, Dave, and whether we like it or not, we're going to continue to see a lot more of this guy.
Jeremy, 12 wins in a row. None of your opponents had a clean game against you. You must have been very intimidating. Is that smile coming off your face before October 4th when we get to see you again?
That's right before my birthday. No, it's not coming off. This is amazing. Every game, and like almost the same frame, they all opened up on the same way. I don't understand. Somebody was helping me. I told all my buddies in the back, so there ain't no way I'm winning this match. This kid's not going to miss. And then, boom, it happened. I'm like, what is going on here?
Well, Jeremy's our unlikely hero, but you did a great job today. You earned every bit of it, and good luck going forward, because you might be unstoppable.
No Oh, thank you.
Brian, make Dave feel a little better.
Ripple
here.
and Dave. And see you again, beat the champ. I know that for sure.
All right, well, Sue and I will come back because we're going to talk more about the amazing achievement of this guy, and we're going to get you ready for his next appearance in a couple of weeks, because we're not done with him yet. We'll return to Classic Lanes and Kenmore right after this. You're watching Beat the Champ. Well, Sue, it was incredible to watch a great athlete at the top of his game and to witness a little bit of history as well, too. I've run out of positive things to say about how incredible it was to see what Jeremy Zimmerman has just done.
I know. As someone who bowls themselves, to see someone make so many good adjustments and make so many good choices and just stay calm when you need to stay calm and get pumped up when you need to get pumped up. It was just the perfect storm and the perfect reactions by him.
Again, to put it in perspective, 12 consecutive wins, the first bowler to ever sweep an entire week of 9 matches and 3 shows at one bowling center, and that adds on to the wins that he had coming into this match from another bowling center. It was just amazing, and all the fun things that we saw, sort of the acts of God that helped him make it work, it's all part of being a good performer and a good athlete.
Well, you know, something about luck is you create your own luck, and for whatever the reason, everything that he did created that situation for him.
Yeah, and Janelle, I think it was great that the fans here at Classic Lane sensed the part of history. Nobody left. Everybody, whether you were cheering for Jeremy or not, eventually you were.
Yeah, Jeremy came with his own fan club today, and he left with even more fans. Like, a lot of people became Jeremy Zimmerman fans today.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people at home are Jeremy Zimmerman fans as well, too. And guess what? In 2 weeks, you're going to see him try to continue this streak from the Rapids Bowling Center. So we're not done with Jeremy yet, and we're excited about that as well. Next week, a special edition of Beat the Champ. It's the League Championship Challenge here from Classic Lanes. So the 3 of us will see you next week on another edition of Beat the Champ.